to join. So our running costs are low in terms of, maintaining and managing the website. So we run a tight ship. As I said, I'm an accountant by background, so you probably expect that. But yeah, that £5 will get you access to all the data that we've got on there at the moment and a chance to kind of input into the discussions that we're having. And be a part of that community, I guess, and be able to get access to those experts that I've kind of mentioned and just be a part of the work that we're doing. And, even if it's just to kind of contribute a few shillings to help us run the site, then that would be much appreciated as well. So
some of those projects people can get involved in supporting are around getting data together for things like what grounds games were played at and that sort of stuff. Cross-checking kind of the different sources that you have for the historical data as well is one of the things that people can help support with, isn't it, Neil? So if anyone has spare time as well as the spare fiver, they can help support in those ways. And you put stuff out for people through kind of some open spreadsheets and stuff that people can all contribute to as well, don't you? So it is, like you say, like a congregation, it is collaborative and everyone working together.
Yeah, and that's entirely our approach. The whole kind of ethos of what we're about. We've kind of got a framework that sets out our kind of values for how we're going to work, and collaborative is one of the things that we kind of mention in there. It is about kind of getting the whole rugby league community pulling together on this one because it's a lot of man hours that's needed to kind of get the inputs needed and to check data and to validate things and cross-check things. And that's where I think I would argue our approach is right, to kind of do all of that work up front. There's been a huge amount of work done cross-checking all of that summer era stuff, for example, before we've got to the point of sharing it with members who will do even more work checking it before we make it available to the public. And I think that's all working towards making sure that information is as accurate as it possibly can be before we put it out there into the wider domain. And that kind of, maintains the credibility of the Record Keepers Club and the brand that was built up in the 70s, 80s, 90s and earned a great reputation that was very hard earned and well deserved. We want to kind of live up to that and make sure that we're kind of maintaining that quality. And we can only do that if people support and get involved. And, I continually give huge thanks to the members that have played whatever part they have in helping us do that work, because I might be something of a spokesperson for what we're doing here. But, there's a huge group of people who are doing all the work in the background, unsung heroes, really. So, without them and other new people hopefully joining, the project doesn't happen. So, there's a chance for everybody to get involved in whatever small way they can.
And of course, with the Rugby League Museum coming up on the horizon, and with lots of clubs and the sport itself paying a lot of attention to the heritage of the game as well as the future of the game, because that's the kind of way of linking it all together, isn't it, and giving us a living history. This kind of resource plays a big part in that, so it is a great thing for people to be involved in if they can be.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, the game hasn't had the greatest rep in the past, I think, for looking after its heritage and giving the right care and attention to that. And I think we're probably in a better place now than we've ever been. There's a lot of good projects going on that we've mentioned a few times, and clubs doing some great work and recognising the kind of value to the communities that they represent of that work. There's some stuff I know that Warrington, my club, have done where they've taken memorabilia collections out to like residential care homes and used that to stimulate conversations with people and to get people reminiscing about their memories and that sort of stuff. So, that's the kind of heart of the game, I think, really, is a local sports focus, a key part of the communities and being able to kind of engage people in, those memories that they have, which is kind of where we started with me rattling about my memories and
exactly.
things, and I'll be telling my grandkids and maybe great grandkids one day about all of that sort of stuff too. So, the museum becomes a
and in 2055.
Well, hopefully I'll be talking about all of our grand final wins in the 2020s by that point. But yeah, the museum helps kind of bring a key focal point to that, and I expect that we'll be playing a key part in kind of helping support and providing information for that as well. So that's quite exciting to think that we'll be able to support that work as well.
I think that's a really positive note to end on, Neil. So thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. And yes, hopefully feel free, anyone, to get in touch if they want to know any more information.
So, big thanks to Neil again for giving up his time. And I wasn't blowing smoke up his backside either. The website is really developing well, given that it's completely a passion project for Neil and some of the key members of the group who've got the right amount of spare time and technical expertise. And within the membership, actually, there is some familiar names in there with expertise on clubs and regions throughout the game that you'll be able to tap into as well if you join that membership. If you do want to get involved by becoming a member for just £5 a year, then head to rugbyleaguerecords.co.uk for more info. The link will be in the episode bio as well. Try rugbyleaguerecords.com too, depending on when you're listening to this episode. You can follow the club on Twitter. It's Rugby League Records. It's at RL_RKC on Twitter. Again, I'll put the link in the episode bio. And as Neil explained, you can get as involved in supporting the initiatives as you want to, or you can just dig into the records on the website and chip the money in to help the costs as progress towards full public release of the database moves along. Before I leave you, a little reminder, if you need it, that our 2021 season predictions form is open for you to make your guesses on what will happen this year in Rugby League. Look out on our Twitter at Super League Pod or facebook.com/Super League Pod to links to the Google form, which will be open until, I think, at the moment I'm thinking around 16th of March, so you've got another couple of weeks to get your guesses in. Make sure you share this with all your friends and followers as well to get the most predictions in that we can. And then it'll be the season preview show where we'll discuss them all, followed by getting back into that weekly grind. So much for us to look forward to. Until then, keep safe, get your vaccines, and do everything we can to make sure being back in stadiums in mid to late May is a reality. And I'll catch you soon. Cheers.